Okay, we've got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And by the way, happy 4th of July! Woohoo! To all my American friends. And for the rest of you guys, I hope you enjoy our displays of fireworks and hot dogs. But okay, here we go. We got excellent UFO video from Australia shared by Skywatch Signal. Where we see these Booga sphere type UFOs just kind of doing their thing in the sky, not doing anything particularly exciting other than just being weird and anomalous. But another great time sighting of spheres in the sky. What are they doing? I mean, sometimes they're moving along, sometimes they're stationary. Why are they stationary sometimes and moving along other times? What is their deal? I don't know. I would love it to see. I would love to see a remote viewing on these things. If anybody has seen anything like that, let me know. I'm really looking forward to Skywatch's, the organization Skywatch, their next video when we're going to get the psychics, the psionic assets of Skywatcher, who have worked previously with the control group itself, talking about their own experiences with the UFOs that they're interacting with, their own psychic impressions, and maybe even communications. So definitely something to look forward to. Meanwhile, we have kind of a big move here from several different UFO organizations combining forces. And this is from UAPdisclosurefund.org. In historic move, 3 UAP organizations combine into one policy, legal and grassroots powerhouse. 3 leading civil society organizations dedicated to advancing greater understanding of UFOs announced today their historic combination. UAP Disclosure Fund, Disclosure Advocacy Group, and UAP Caucus will now engage on a united front with the public, academia, federal, state, and local governments, and the private sector to foster transparency, shape policy, and champion scientific inquiry with respect to UAP. The UAP Disclosure Fund is the preeminent civil society organization supporting UAP legislation, conducting scholarship, and working with Congress, the executive branch, scientists, and national security experts in the interest of transparency. Yeah, it's through the efforts of the UAP Disclosure Fund that we had that recent congressional event where you had Eric Davis sitting down with Burles to tell him about the various races of alien beings that are out there interacting with humanity. Really kind of an historic moment. And we have the Disclosure Advocacy Group, which comprises multidisciplinary teams of talented attorneys that, among other engagements, represent whistleblowers, draft proposed legislation, and pursue requests under FOIA. And we have the UAP Caucus, an online technology-forward grassroots platform empowering a broad-based political constituency around the critical need for UAP transparency. The combined effort will continue under the names of the UAP Disclosure Fund, a public charity, and the UAP Disclosure Action Fund. Its political arm, which is a FO1C4 private foundation. But there you go, these 3 organizations, those 3 joining forces to be a more effective means of giving us UFO disclosure. I think that's probably a good idea. It did seem a little bit fragmented there for a while, different groups doing different things. Now, on the one hand, I think that's actually a good thing because one group might get more traction in some regards than another. Skywatcher might actually get peer-reviewed data related to UFOs. UAP Disclosure Fund might get some congressional action. There are, different strengths for different companies and different organizations. And I think there's really something valuable in having a bunch of different groups. But on the other hand, I can definitely see a benefit to them all joining forces, or at least some of them joining forces on some fronts. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. Meanwhile, we have a new interstellar object coming through the solar system named the 31 Atlas. An object from another star has been seen entering the solar system at high speed and is expected to whip around the sun in the coming months. It's been spotted zipping through our solar system, and amateur and professional astronomers around the world are now racing to train their telescopes on its direction. The comet, originally called that name, is only the third interstellar object we have seen. Following Uanuma, I can never say that name, in Borisov, seen in 2019. So is this going to be another weird object like Uamua, which may or may not have been anomalous, or is this just, a regular old comet? Either way, interesting that we have another visitor coming through our solar system. Meanwhile, we have a very strong opinion piece from The Hill, and people like Merrick von Rendenkamp, Chris Mellon, and Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet are fighting back against the disinformation put out by the Wall Street Journal. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I thought this was a very strong section. The authors of the Wall Street Journal article said that they had discovered a terrestrial explanation for one of the better-known incidents involving UFOs and nuclear weapons. Talking about the UFOs shutting down nukes at Malmstrom Air Force Base, they said it was an unannounced electromagnetic pulse test that caused that shutdown of those nukes, not the UFOs, right? Which is the story that we've been hearing and which seems to be the real story. And which is backed up by many other similar incidents, not just in the U.S., but around the world. Now, the authors of this, the Hill piece, say, but the government documents Sheckman and Viswanatha cite in support of this supposed explanation, in fact, debunk it. The documents state that the proposal for the design, development, fabrication, and testing of the system, this electromagnetic pulse system, supposedly responsible for the Malmstrom UFO incident, was not submitted until 1971, 4 years after the event. How could this system, which was not developed and tested until 1973, cause an incident that had occurred 6 years earlier? Great questions. And obviously the answer is that the Wall Street Journal article was disinformation. Did they arrive at the impetus for spreading that disinformation themselves, the authors of that article? Or was that a mandate directed from above? Is this part of some sort of, establishment effort to try to debunk the whole phenomenon? Well, that's what it seems like to me. And that's around the same time Susan Goff and Kirkpatrick, the lovely Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, were running around making their statements. So it seems to me like it was an organized disinformation campaign that the Wall Street Journal was a part of. That's what it looks like to me. Let me know what you guys think. And I really value this Hill article, which does a really good job of undermining that disinformation and poking holes in it. Lou Elizondo liked it too. He says, excellent points here. I highly suggest reading this. Did the Pentagon spread false UFO stories? We're skeptical. Yeah, the Pentagon did spread false stories, and so did the Wall Street Journal. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Meanwhile, look at this badass guitar. A Bigfoot guitar, man, that is pretty sweet. I like it. I've got to give me one of those. And look at this sweet, sweet UFO captured by John Bell of Florida Real UFO. Look at that amazing object, whatever the heck that is. Man, I would love more detail on that thing. But that is just a gorgeous capture of whatever this thing is. He gets so many of these captures, but some of them are just really outstanding. And that is definitely among my favorites. Look at that gorgeous UFO. That is just lovely. Yeah, thank you, John, for sharing that with us and for all your hard work out there getting this awesome footage day after day. Meanwhile, one of the doctors and researchers that were researching the Nazca mummies was actually thrown in jail for refusing to spread disinformation about the mummies.
there isn't a single indication anywhere. There isn't a seam, there isn't a stitch, there's nowhere where something was rejected. Like it is perfectly harmonious. That's the word he kept using. So when he had originally said, "Hey, in my opinion, this is a real thing. We don't know what it is, but it's not a hoax." His boss and his commanding officer in the Mexican Navy called him in and said, "You've got two choices. You can write a letter saying that Jaime Maussan is a hoaxer and he put you up to this, and we will actually promote you one rank, or you can go to jail." So he chose jail, and he was actually in prison for 5 days before they managed to get him out. His wife and his lawyers, were threatening this huge like humanitarian PR campaign. There,
I want to say, can you believe it? But of course, sadly, I think I can believe it, and I'm sure a lot of you can believe that too. This doctor, I think it was Dr. Zalche, who was it? Zalche Benitez, was actually encouraged to spread disinformation. They would even promote him. It's either promotion or jail, and he actually chose jail over spreading false information about the Nazca mummies. I think the Wall Street Journal authors could learn a trick or two from Dr. Benitez. But that is amazing. That is scary. But man, hats off to him for being willing to go to jail, even if it was just for 5 days, in support of the Nazca mummies. Thanks for all his research into this and all the other doctors and researchers that have investigated the Nazca mummies. This is UFO disclosure. There's no two ways about it. You don't get those mummies through any natural process of evolution. 5 to 7 different varieties of tridactyls, all with common features, all obviously related to each other, but none of them actually able to be related to each other. Some are egg-laying beings, some would have given a live birth, some were tiny, some were giants. None of them, under the same genus, if you will. Not even the same category of creature. Egg-laying beings are not in the same category as non-egg-laying beings, typically. So, really fascinating, beings that can only arrive from some sort of genetic engineering or hybridization programs. This is UFO disclosure. This is so important to the movement, to everybody, because this is when we learn we are not alone. And of course, they wanted to discredit the movement, the Nazca Mummy movement. And Dr. Benitez was even willing to go to jail to stand up to that. And I really support that. But yeah, so hats off to Dr. Benitez, and thank you. Speaking of the Nazca Mummies, here's what Eric Burleson had to say about David Grush and the Nazca Mummies.
And so, but whenever I talked with him about these mummies that were down in Mexico City and Peru, what he said is the reason why I went down there. And what he said is that he said that there's a bunch of fake ones down there, that there are a bunch of these mummies that are just recreations and they're faked. But he said, but there's some that are so intricate that he doesn't believe that they're fake. And he said that the large ones resemble something that he was briefed on and saw in his role working for the federal government.
That is just super fascinating. Now, Eric does go on to say that he thinks the mummies are fake. He thinks the Boogosphere is fake. But he is open-minded, and it looks like he will at least continue to review the evidence as it comes in. And I guess that's all we can ask of a sitting congressman. I don't think he's going to go all in on this stuff. But the fact that he did go all the way to Mexico to attend the presentation, got a briefing on the Nazca mummies, looked at the Boogosphere, actually held one of the severed hands of the Nazca mummies in his own hand. These are wild times, and I really support his willingness to do that and to talk about this stuff openly, even though if he's not all there. And of course, if he was all there, if he was all in on this, privately, would he actually, talk about that publicly? Would that be something that he might want to hold back and not look like a crazy person? As he and many of his voters would likely think of it. But yeah, good for Eric Burleson for again taking the time to go down there to get this information and having the cojones to talk about it publicly. Meanwhile, from Ronnie Vernick, recently leaked Skinwalker Ranch data from U.S. government program OSAP shows they have a video of 3 red orbs causing death and injuries to animals. Now, I asked him if this was from the Bass leak, and Ronnie said that yes, this is indeed from the Bass leak, which does appear to be authentic. And yeah, there is a description of this video taken in '97 of 3 red balls attacking cattle and a horse, animal deaths and injuries. Super fascinating. This was at nighttime. I don't know what CE5 means in this categorization system. I don't think they were doing CE5 that resulted in these injuries and deaths. But yeah, so Bass has stuff that they have not revealed to us. We know this. The Bigelow era, the Bass era, there is stuff that's still classified. Even I think a majority of the stuff that the scientists worked on back in the day is still classified. When will we get that information? When will we get those videos? Will we ever see these orbs attacking these cattle and causing these animal deaths? And is this indeed the proof, the smoking gun that, of course, cattle mutilations and other animal mutilations are indeed UFO related, not Satanists or teenagers causing a prank? And of course, if you study cattle mutilations for 5 minutes, you'll realize that, we're talking about something anomalous here. But a lot of people haven't studied it. And when they hear, Satanists or whatever, they say, oh, well, that must be what it is. But of course, that's not what it is. And it looks like the government is sitting on proof of that. And of course, they are not sharing that. Meanwhile, look at this beautiful orb captured in Germany, June 21st. Just a gorgeous orb shining in the trees. Again, just doing its thing, whatever that thing is. Is this more alien? Is this more paranormal, other dimensional, metaphysical, timey-wimey? I mean, what are we dealing with here? What is this thing, these lights shining in the woods in Germany? Yeah, I mean, is this, it makes me think of old children's stories and stuff, right? Is that what those are based on? Is stuff like this another weird goings on? Or is this just happen to be an alien in the woods? Or is this something mundane? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Meanwhile, look at all the beautiful crop circles that we've had this year. Check this out from Spirit Stem. It's been an amazing season so far. We've had 9 crop circles already. Before we get into the double digits, here's a compilation of what we've seen. Lots of sacred geometry, symbology, and references to what's in the collective consciousness, I believe. Just gorgeous pictures of these awesome crop circles. UFO caused crop circles, no doubt, at least some of them. I don't know how many of these are legitimately anomalous. I would love to know. I don't know how many of these have been investigated by researchers. And which ones may be man-made and which ones are not man-made. But I'm willing to bet at least a couple of those are probably not made by men or people. Well, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about it all as we admire this awesome armadillo having fun in a fountain. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.